My heart's racing. My breathing is racing. I'm terrified to even be in my bedroom. I tried sleeping in different spaces of the house. I tried different supplements. Nothing was working. People would give me different advice of, well, you know what, you should try counting backwards. You should try doing these different rapid eye movements at night. This is what worked for me. And then people were just baffled by the fact that I didn't really have a reason why I couldn't sleep. People would say, well, surely you must be nervous about something at work. There must be something going on. And I'd say, there's nothing. I'm just scared of sleeping. I'm scared of the fact that I can't sleep. From there, I tried a CBTi program because I had read online this is the best thing to do. It was an app that I had found, and it had a coach, and then it would have a daily lesson, and it involved the sleep restriction as well. And that made things 10 times worse, I would say. I started to get just really, really angry because I would read these rules that I was supposed to follow of don't drink caffeine after this time. Don't use your phone at night. The blue light is bad for you. Don't eat 3 hours before bed. Don't exercise at night. And I would think to myself, I have always done all of these things. I'm going to sign up for BedTyme, and I want to have a coach just to have someone to talk to. And that, even though I was doing pretty well, that just helped me so immensely. So for anyone who's like, should I do it? Yeah, you should do it. Even though a lot of the ideas in it are just same things that I had read, but reading it again and again, and then to be able to talk to my coach and say, hey, I'm frustrated because I'm still having nights where I struggle to fall asleep. For her to just say, like, you have come so far, like, you're doing everything right. This is all part of the process. This is all normal. This is just your brain learning that it's safe was so helpful to me. You're safe. You're okay. You're going to make it through this. This is not forever. And you can do really hard things.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to yet another really special Talking Insomnia episode. We have Erica with us. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
So glad you're here, and we look forward to learning with you. And just so the audience knows, you've been a BedTyme student. You worked with Coach Alina there, and you replied to an email where I invited people to be guests. So very grateful for that. With that said, tell us the yours, Erica. How did you start having trouble sleeping?
Yeah, so I am actually a more recent insomniac. This actually happened starting over the summer. Um, I've always been a really, really good sleeper. Um, Fallen asleep within seconds my whole life. But then right around the 4th of July, there were a bunch of fireworks happening, which has happened every 4th of July. But for whatever reason, I just could not fall asleep and kind of became obsessed with the fact that I couldn't fall asleep, and had an awful night. And then I had a couple of other nights shortly thereafter where I also couldn't fall asleep. And that just kind of led me to be in a state of panic at night. Um, so that evolved into me routinely not being able to fall asleep at night and really, really panicking about it to the point where I was crying uncontrollably. Um, and then for weeks and weeks, I would alternate between I can't fall asleep at night to, okay, I can fall asleep at night, but only for an hour or two. And then I wake up in a panic. My heart's racing. My breathing is racing. I'm terrified to even be in my bedroom. I tried sleeping in different spaces of the house. I tried different supplements. Nothing was working. People would give me different advice of, well, you know what, you should try counting backwards. You should try doing these different rapid eye movements at night. This is what worked for me. Um, and then people were just baffled by the fact that I didn't really have a reason why I couldn't sleep. People would say, well, surely you must be nervous about something at work. There must be something going on. And I'd say there's nothing. I'm just scared of sleeping. I'm scared of the fact that I can't sleep. Um, yeah. And then from there, I tried a CBTi program because I had read online this is the best thing to do. The CBTi program
And
made
it's
me.
hard to cut in there, Erica, but just so we have context, was this like a in-person CBTi locally, or was it online, or what was it?
It was an app that I had found, and it had a coach, and then it would have a daily lesson, um, and it involved the sleep restriction as well, and that made things 10 times worse, I would say. I started to get just really, really angry because I would read these rules that I was supposed to follow of, don't drink caffeine after this time, don't use your phone at night, that's, the blue light is bad for you. Um, don't eat 3 hours before bed, don't exercise at night, and I would think to myself, I have always done all of these things that, I have scrolled my phone at night, every night right before I go to bed forever. I exercise late, I eat at like 9 p.m. It's never been an issue, and now you're telling me this is the reason I can't sleep? So, I tried doing that. I tried not very hard, the sleep restriction, because I would think, okay, you're telling me not to go to bed till 11 and I'm getting up at 5:30. Well, I'm not going to fall asleep at 11. I'm going to fall asleep at 3 a.m. no matter what, you know? But this is just making me more stressed. You're telling me that I need to get out of bed if I can't fall asleep after 15 minutes. Well, of course I'm not going to, 15 minutes would hit and I'd be in a state of panic. I would get on the couch and read a book and just be in a state of panic. Could not calm down. It was not making me feel sleepy at all. So I did that for a while. And I finally quit it. I was like, this is just making me really upset.
And do you remember, like, it started around, 4th of July, and now you're trying this CBTi app. Are we towards the fall now, or where are?
So I pretty quickly tried the CBTI. I think it was like early August that I tried it. And that went on for like a month, probably.
And I wanted to ask you, during this time, you were panicking, you were scared, you didn't sleep very much, but it sounds like you had work to do. And so how were things during the day? How did you get along with obligations and things you needed to get done?
Yeah. So I'm a nurse supervisor. So I had to be at work. It was not an option for me to work from home. I had to be up and at work by 6:30 in the morning. Um, but I just did it. Um, I remember my boyfriend would say, "Well, hey, look at you. You made it through the workday." And I would say, that did not help me at all. That I would just think, "Okay, I made it through one day, but is this the rest of my life? I don't know that I can do this forever." Even though I was doing it, I don't think anyone at my work noticed.
Yeah. No, that's so helpful to know. And everyone I ask this question answers similar to you. I somehow muddled through. I don't know how,
Yeah.
but it is helpful, I think, for the community to know that somehow you can get through more than you think is possible. But of course, we want to see change happen, and we're getting to that part as well. But also, did you talk to like your doctor?
Yeah, so I did, find an insomnia clinic in my city, and so I found someone. He prescribed me Trazodone. Trazodone did not help me. I had also taken, like, some over-the-counter sleep medications that would, maybe work for a little bit, and then it wouldn't work, and so then I'd be in a state of, just I would think, "Oh my god, like, nothing's gonna work for me. This is such a," my insomnia is unlike anybody else's insomnia, and it's not gonna work for me. So I tried Trazodone, and Trazodone led me to a night of 0 sleep, and that was awful, uh, and just made me feel terrible the next day as well, on top of no sleep. And so then that provider switched me to QUVIVIQ and to sertraline. So I tried QUVIVIQ for a while. Um, some nights I would sleep, some nights I wouldn't, and then if I didn't sleep, I would be on the internet Googling, "Why? Why is the QUVIVIQ not working? What am I doing wrong with it?" It also led to a lot of rules for me since you're supposed to take it on an empty stomach, so I'd think, "Okay, I have to eat at 6 p.m., can't eat any later than that, can't have anything else, and I have to take this pill at this time or else it's not gonna work for me."
Wow. Okay. So uh, it's very understandable that you take like trazodone, which is prescribed for your sleep, and then you don't sleep. You can
Mhm.
feel like something's really, really wrong, of course.
Yeah.
But okay, the struggle kind of continues here, and yeah, what's kind of the next thing that happens in your story?
Yeah, so eventually I I was on the internet all the time, Googling, "How do I sleep? What's wrong with me?" I found one person on Reddit who actually, let me back up. There was somebody on Reddit who recommended Guy Meadows' book. So I bought that book, I read it, and I thought, "Okay, a lot of these ideas make a lot of sense." But he also recommended things like, "Hey, go for a walk and notice all the things that you see. Do some meditations, do some body calming things." Um, and that really didn't help me because on top of that, I had also used some apps that were trying to do like nighttime stories for me or some, body relaxation techniques. And those just, I would just realize I'm not asleep in these. So I'd listen to story after story after story and still not sleep. So the recommended meditations also did not help me. um, so continued my Google searching and one person said, "Hey, you got to check out the sleep coach school." And so I did. I found your podcast. I listened to someone's story. I don't remember whose, but immediately I was like, "Oh my god. Like this person is telling my story." I've never heard of somebody else who's saying they can't even walk into their room at night without just feeling in a state of panic. I've never seen someone who says, "Yeah, I just can't sleep and I don't know why." And, like night after night after night of not being able to sleep well. And that was so reassuring for me. So I started listening to as many podcasts as I could. And then eventually I bought the book, Set It and Forget It. And so many of your ideas in that resonated with me. Um, reading like, "Hey, enter into the timeless sleep window." Um, where instead of, "Hey, after 15 minutes, get out of bed." So I just completely stopped checking the time at night. And that was so freeing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that person, tipped you off about our podcast, and thanks to you, whoever you're out there, and everybody else who's helping guide people. That's amazing. And you find the book, start letting go of control, or attempts to have control, see things get easier, and yeah, what happens next?
Yeah, so read through the book. Eventually, I'm like, "Okay, I'm taking this QUVIVIQ. I don't think this is doing anything." I think I had read or I'd listened to one of your podcasts kind of talking about sleeping pills and just like, "Hey, if you decide to stop taking it, just don't even have it as a backup anymore." So I just went cold turkey on it. Um, I went on a vacation that I had really kind of been dreading for a long time. In my mind, I had been thinking, "Oh my god, if my sleep issues aren't resolved by the time of this vacation, it's gonna ruin it." And of course, they weren't resolved by then. And I had nights where I just could not sleep, and it was okay. Yeah, I still had a really good vacation. My sleep was not affected by it. I think I needed that. I had kind of been able to show my brain like, "Hey, you can get through a work day. A work day is not fun, but to be able to do something that I wanted to do that was really enjoyable and to be able to get through a sleepless night and be able to do that really trained my brain a lot."
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Like not just seeing that, yeah, we can muddle through and get our obligations done, but even like I can even have a nice day, something pleasant can happen even if I don't sleep much. Can be really, really helpful. And of course reduce the pressure to like try to get more sleep, which helps so much. And is it at this point in time that you discover bedtime and sign up for that as well, or is it
Yeah.
later? Or
Yeah, it was a little while after that. I kind of thought, well, I can just get through this. But, I was still having some nights where I wasn't sleeping, and that just felt frustrating to me. So I signed up for bedtime. I had looked at doing the immunity program, and I thought, there's no, my schedule's not super flexible. So to be able to meet with people at a certain time isn't going to work. So I thought, I'm going to sign up for bedtime and I want to have a coach just to have someone to talk to. And that, even though I was doing pretty well, that just helped me so immensely. So for anyone who's like, should I do it? Yeah, you should do it. Like, even though, a lot of the ideas in it are just same things that I had read, but reading it again and again, and then to be able to talk to my coach and say, hey, I'm frustrated because I'm still having, nights where I struggle to fall asleep. And for her to just say, like, you have come so far, like you're doing everything right. This is all part of the process. This is all normal. This is just your brain learning that it's safe was so helpful to me.
that's wonderful. So glad that you found it so helpful. And did you ever try? I'm always curious about this. Did you ever try talking to Ellie?
Um, I did send one message that I was too embarrassed to send to my coach early on. Something that I had been a little bit, obsessed with in my journey was, what do I think about at night when I can't sleep? Like, I was like, surely my brain is supposed to be doing something." I don't know what it did before when I didn't have sleep issues. Uh, and so I did ask Ellie that, and Ellie actually gave a pretty good response. I don't remember what it was, but it was helpful.
That's cool. That's a kind of a good use case. I didn't even think about that, but something that we're a little bit embarrassed about, we can ask, our little chat out there. But okay, so you're taking, following along in the bedtime curriculum, talking to Alina, and do things, little by little get easier, or is there still kind of bumps on the journey here, or what happens? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Things started to get kind of easier. I did have a speed bump. I took a trip with some friends where there were four of us staying in a hotel room, and I think that just had made me kind of nervous. My boyfriend and I had stopped sleeping in the same bed, and so um, hearing other people fall asleep when I was still awake kind of created a little struggle for me. And then on top of that, I had people snoring next to me. So, I had like 3 nights where I struggled, texted Allie about that. She said, "Yeah, you're having a speed bump. That's normal. This is gonna happen on your journey." And you're able to acknowledge it and, also see like, well, there's some circumstances here, people snoring, like, this is part of why you're having a hard time. And so that was really helpful too.
Yeah. And was that experience similar in that you could still have a night time during the day, or was it tricky at
Yes.
time with people? Yes.
No, I had a great vacation again. Yes. I did kind of, whereas before when I was running on adrenaline, I really would not feel exhausted. Um, but at this point, I'd kind of gotten used to being able to sleep again. I was like, "Oh, this is what it feels like to not get a good night of sleep." Like, this is, I'm actually feeling sleepy again.
Oh, very, very nice. All right. And I think I, I I don't come up with any specific question apart from what I always ask people towards the end here, which is or maybe one question. That came to my mind here. When you stopped the what was it called? QVIVIQ, I think it was called,
Yes. Mhm.
which is sertraline you said?
I took sertraline as well.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what QVIVIQ is. Do you know what it is?
I don't remember what class of drugs it is, um, but I think it's supposed to shut off some sort of receptor in your brain. I don't know.
All right. Some kind, but it is for sleep, I guess.
Yes, it is
Um,
a big pill.
And when you stopped that, was it, did you also have kind of a bump after that, or was it less impactful than you thought?
I actually remember I slept really well for like 4 straight nights after I stopped it. I think it was just kind of letting go of the control with it. Yeah, so I never looked back after that.
Uh, all right. Very well. And now I want to ask you, if you could, travel back in time to when this all started at maybe 4th of July or around that time, uh, and tell yourself something. What would you tell yourself?
You're safe. You're okay. You're gonna make it through this. This is not forever, and you can do really hard things.
Yeah, that's super helpful. And yes, and finally, did you learn things going through this journey that has been helpful in other areas of life?
Yeah, I think I've learned how to kind of let go of control a little bit with things. Um, with my sleep especially now. Before I was really, really attached to like, I need to make sure that I'm in bed by this time. I need to make sure I get this much sleep. And now I don't feel that. I really am like, you know what? I'm gonna go to bed when I feel sleepy. If I'm up a little bit late, that's okay. If I wake up a little early, that's okay. Um, and yeah, just in general, like I don't feel the need to control as much.
Yeah, that's wonderful. All right. Well, let's conclude here, Erica. It was so nice hearing your story. Thanks so much for sharing it, and be in touch.
Thank you.
Hi, it's me, Daniel. And I hope you found the video you just watched really valuable. Now, I know how frustrating insomnia can be, especially if you are a high achiever, highly organized, a doer, a type A person who has figured out everything in life apart from sleep. Now, here's the thing: although the wonderful traits you have can lead you to struggle with sleep, there are also the traits that can set you free. All you need to see how may be some personalized instruction, and you can get that in our Insomnia Immunity program. If you think it is time to set yourself free, to find peaceful sleep, to feel connected with the world again, and have color return to your life, then head over to thesleepcoachschool.com and join the Insomnia Immunity program. And we can't wait to see you on the other side.